Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Conscious AI podcast. I'm just going to turn off our music there. Welcome to the Conscious AI podcast. My name is Krys Copeland, and today we're going to explore the profound and evolving relationship between artificial intelligence and the human marketplace. ChatGPT is actually your host for today. I am your co-host, and in today's episode, we'll delve into the fascinating realm of AI's influence on our modern and future economy. As AI continues to advance, it's reshaping industries, redefining job roles, and presenting both challenges and opportunities. So join us as we navigate this transformative landscape, discussing the ways in which AI is revolutionizing work, businesses, and the very nature of employment in the modern age. Let's embark on this exploration of AI's impact on the human marketplace. Together, we'll uncover the possibilities, ponder the ethical implications, and envision a future where humans and machine collaborate in unprecedented ways. And ChatGPT also wrote that intro. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here with ChatGPT. And we're going to, yes, there we go. Now we've got it going. The reason that we're doing this show live is so that we can get a bit more interaction with you, the audience. If there are questions you want to ask GPT, we're happy to do that today. We'll plug those in here and see what GPT comes up with. I'll also advise on how to modify your prompt to get the information you really want from GPT, and to slowly tweak that prompt until it works for you. I've prepared this one today in advance simply because I don't know if you've been on ChatGPT in the last couple of days, you will have noticed it's a bit slow for some reason. We're still not really sure why. I've been checking the systems reports that it sends over, and it does look like there was a huge spike in it being down yesterday. So that may be contributing to the slowness as it comes back up from yesterday and today. So I've asked the questions in advance for GPT and gotten the answers for those. Now, our first question that we'll cover today is, what are some key ways that AI is currently, right now, influencing the job market and the economy? GPT's response says, AI is having a profound impact on the job market and the economy in several ways. First, the automation of routine tasks. AI-powered robots and software are increasingly taking over repetitive and routine tasks in industries like manufacturing, logistics, and customer service. Some of you may have even gone to order some fast food, and the person taking your order was not a human, but actually an AI. This can lead to increased efficiency and reduced labor costs, but it also results in job displacement for workers in these sectors. And so far, at least here in Europe, we think that about 80,000 jobs have been lost to AI, mostly for routine tasks. It can also enhance productivity. So AI tools and applications are helping businesses streamline their operations. And this is something that we use a lot in Speak Your Own Book. We have GPT help us make data-driven decisions and optimize our supply chain. So we're able to produce better quality content, at least as fast as a human can, or in some cases faster. So this improved productivity can lead to economic growth. It certainly has for us. We've doubled our business since we started incorporating AI into our writing. And I'll explain a bit more later on how we do that. And this leads to economic growth and increased competitiveness on a global scale. But the other result is job displacement. So as AI automates these tasks, there is a risk of job displacement for workers in roles that can be easily automated. This is in particular for manual labor or data entry. We have actually worked around this. We've not lost any of our people since we started using AI. We've actually brought on a few more because we've been able to increase our workload from the initial entry of GPT into our process. So it's not happening to every sector, and even if it's happening to certain sectors, like it is happening in the writing sector, we see that a lot in Hollywood. Our writers are actually partnering with GPT to produce better quality writing instead of the AIs replacing our writers. We still need a human to review this information. It does lead to the creation of new jobs, though. So some jobs may get automated, but it's creating new job opportunities related to AI development, maintenance, and oversight, as well as positions in emerging fields like data science and machine learning. Prompt engineering is something that we train here at Speak Your Own Book to our writers so that they can get what they need out of GPT to produce high quality writing in a short amount of time. There's also a skills gap issue. So the adoption of AI means that more workers need those AI related skills. That includes programming, data analysis, and machine learning expertise. This has led to a skills gap, so there's more job openings than there are qualified candidates to fill them. So if you're looking at going into the job market or switching your current job market, AI is a good one to get educated on and to enter. Then also e-commerce and online services. The AI algorithms are driving personalized recommendations. We see this all the time already. This isn't anything new. This particular use of AI has been going on for probably the last 5 to 10 years in the online space. This includes targeted advertising in e-commerce, so it does lead to increased sales and revenue. We often use data-driven decisions to decide what types of advertising to present where to what target audience using AI. The rise of these online services and marketplaces has created new economic opportunities. It's also improved healthcare. At least this is what GPT said. I think that there are still some potentials for errors that could happen here if we don't have some human oversight with the improved healthcare. So, but AI is revolutionizing healthcare by assisting in diagnosis and treatment and planning, as well as drug recovery. We've all read stories about, someone going to the doctor and the doctors not knowing what is going on, or even taking their pet to the vet and the vet doesn't know what's going on. So they input the symptoms to ChatGPT, and ChatGPT actually comes up with a diagnosis that is then later confirmed by the doctor or the veterinarian. So that one is interesting to see. Again, I do think it needs to be a human doing the final testing and confirmation of that diagnosis. We also have AI in finance. So this is great for financial institutions to detect fraud, to assist risk in lending, as well as algorithmic trading. I use a trading AI app as well for some small trading that I do. And that's been very helpful. I also have a friend who's actually developed her own app for using AI to decide when she buys and sells certain types of currency. And that's actually made her quite a bit of profit, not just with the app itself, but with her use of her own app. So I'm looking forward to it coming to the marketplace so I can also use it. So this can impact economic stability and investment strategies going forward. I think we'll see a lot of more investment into AI specific categories. And then we also have supply chain optimization. This is what we do when we talk about supply chain optimization in writing. We deliver better quality content and we do it faster. AI helps optimize these supply chains so it reduces waste. And then if you have transport costs, it can also reduce transport costs. This efficiency can lead to lower pricing for consumers and increased profitability for businesses. Finally, the last answer for this question is regulation and ethical considerations. So governments and organizations are really grappling with the need for regulation and ethical guidelines surrounding AI in the workplace. We've already seen it get completely banned in Italy, and I don't know if that ban has been lifted yet. But there's an easy way around it, just using a VPN. So I don't think that that particular type of regulation is going to really do any work to stop people from using AI if they want to. This also includes concerns about bias in AI algorithms and data privacy. This is also why I make sure that any AI written content that we produce with Speak Your Own Book is still human edited. Simply because there are going to be certain things that either AI gets wrong completely, or that AI shows a bias in, or that AI phrases in a way that the client would not be happy with. And we have the human editor go back and change those things. So in summary, AI's impact on the job market and the economy is multifaceted. It brings a lot of opportunities for efficiency and growth, but it also presents a lot of challenges related to job displacement and training a new skill in the workforce. So we have to balance these factors, and this will be crucial for navigating the evolving landscape of AI in the workplace and the broader economy. I'm just going to check our chat real quick here. Hi, Ed. Thank you for joining in today. Good morning to you as well. And jumping back over to our next question here, it says, can you provide some examples of industries where AI is driving significant changes in workforce and business place operations? And it seems that this tab has frozen. Let me see if I can get it to unfreeze by just waiting it out a second. And if that doesn't work, then I will refresh the page. Oh, there we go. AI is driving significant changes in various industries, transforming workplace and business operations. This includes manufacturing and robotics. So AI-powered robots and automation systems are really revolutionizing manufacturing. This has been true in the industry that my partner works in as well. There are some tasks that are going to, from this point forward, be implemented by AI. And those tasks can be things like assembly, welding, and quality control with high precision and efficiency. And there's actually, we've been training AI for years, especially with the high precision and efficiency. When we do those CAPTCHAs to prove that we're human, we're training a robot during that moment to be more human in its understanding of what is a traffic light, what is a car, and that helps with allowing it to monitor those traffic systems without a human having to be involved. This is potentially going to be not necessarily a great thing unless everybody actually does start following the traffic laws like they should. So hopefully that will happen. It also affects retail and e-commerce. So this is for inventory management, demand forecasting, and personalized recommendations. You've probably also seen chatbots and virtual shopping assistants to instead of an actual customer service person chatting to you from a website that you shop at. There's also automation in warehouses, and that delivery process is also experiences some enhanced efficiency. We also see this again in healthcare with treatment decisions, and robotic surgery and telemedicine are becoming more common. I think that will continue to increase, especially since robotic surgery can often be much more exact than a human-led surgery. In finance, AI algorithms analyze financial data, detect fraud, predict market trends, and optimize investment portfolios. You can also use those chatbots again just for the same customer service things that you would on any other website. And of course, customer service is part of this as well. Transportation and logistics are another big area. We've talked about that before. We're starting to see some AI-driven vehicles, although there's not been great success in that area. I'm really hoping that improves over the next 10 to 20 years. And then also with energy and utilities, we're now able to use AI to optimize energy consumption in our smart grids. This includes predictive maintenance to reduce downtime for machinery and power plants. And drones and AI are used for inspecting utility infrastructure. We've actually just did a writing project on this for a home inspector, a building inspector, who uses drones, AI-powered drones, to go and inspect the parts of the building that may not be that safe for a human to enter. Or to enter a space where it's not as easy for a human to enter. It may be a very narrow or cramped space, and using the drone is easier. So this is going to be just the way things are done now. Instead of the home inspector coming out to your house, probably in the next 10 to 15 years, you'll meet a drone on your front porch and there will be a human voice in it, talking to you, but from a remote location. And then that human will use the drone to inspect the property. Also, we're seeing this in agriculture. This is great for using sensors and drones and machine learning to optimize planting, irrigation, and harvesting. So this will increase crop yield and reduce our resource use over time. I'm really excited to see that, because adding AI into Rhiannon Farms, the other project that I have, the Kenyan-based farm, I would really love to see us start implementing AI going forward at some point in the future. And of course, I'm using AI every day in education. I'm using it to grade papers sometimes. I'm also using it to create tests, as well as to create slide content. And then help me decide what needs to be spoken to the student or the audience, based on the text that I want to present on that slide. It'll also give me ideas for what kind of images to include on those slides. So that's a really good one for educational use. Again, in the future, most likely there will be an AI teacher, an AI generated teacher, delivering this information with maybe a limited amount of responses if students have questions. And then if they have questions beyond that, maybe then it's sent to an actual human teacher to take a look at. Also, we see it being used in legal services to do legal research, to create contracts, and to review documents. I've used AI to help me write up contracts for clients. And then, of course, I carefully review the contract so I know what I'm agreeing to, and I feel comfortable with the way it's phrased. But AI can process a lot more legal text and identify relevant information than I can as a human being. And then, of course, we also use it for entertainment. I do this all the time when I am trying to think of a movie or an actor and I cannot think of them. I can go to GPT and give it like the most random information from the plot line or about the actor that I'm familiar with, and it will give me a list of suggestions of who it might be or what movie or TV show I might be talking about. And 9 times out of 10, it gives me the correct information. It's also being used in construction and architecture, mostly for the project management side, as well as design, but also safety monitoring on construction sites. So we'll likely, until we get fully automated machines, we'll likely need humans there to do some of the more manual tasks. Actually, we kind of thought that AI might completely get rid of manual tasks, but it actually seems to be much better suited in some ways to the thinking tasks that humans do. And it can also help architects create energy efficient building designs. So those are some examples from various sectors of our economy. Let's take a look at another question here. How might AI powered automation affect traditional job roles and employment trends in the near future? So we've already talked about job displacement with this, but let's go into a little bit about job transformation. A lot of people are not getting displaced from their jobs. A lot of people are just seeing AI added as a part of their daily work life. When I wake up in the morning, a lot of times I use ChatGPT to help me plan my day. And then if there are emails I need to respond to, I'll have GPT write those emails, and I just do a quick review of what it's written, change a word here and there, and send it off. So it cuts down the amount of time that I spend replying to messages, replying to emails, and really trying to think about, okay, how do I want to phrase this, or what tone do I want to use? I can just tell GPT I want it in this tone and I want it written this way, and for the most part it can do that, especially when it comes to business activities. And then it also creates new job roles such as AI trainers, also called prompt. There's also prompt engineers. Ethicists are very much needed in this situation, as well as data analysts and machine learning engineers. We also see that skills shift mentioned here again, where workers must start learning how to use AI. And this is something that I say over and over and over again. And you can take it with any job category. I'm going to use writers since that's my primary category. AI will not replace writers. Writers using AI will replace writers. And it's that simple. If we can make our writing more enhanced and we can produce it faster and it's better quality than the human working alone, then why wouldn't we? It just makes more sense too. We also use it to enhance our productivity, to personalize services. And it's expected to do some economic growth. My worry is that if AI is only being used by big corporations, it means economic growth for the already wealthy elite. So what I would love to see is small businesses or self-employed people starting to use AI to improve their company's efficiency, to drive innovation, to create marketing campaigns. I would love to see more, especially pagan business owners, using AI. There are going to be some challenges for certain industries, especially those that rely on manual labor, as more machines get built to replace that manual labor. So we're going to have to rethink, a lot of us are going to have to rethink the way we earn a living in this economy going forward. Of course, there are going to be ethical considerations. It mentions here avoiding bias and ensuring fairness. But these are with employment decisions. My recommendation is you may be able to use AI to do a little bit with screening for employment, maybe creating like tests for potential employees to take as part of the onboarding or training for them. But whatever bias is written into the AI will carry over into who they decide to hire and promote. So I would say if you're using AI in that way, track your data and see if it's being fair. And the way you can see if it's being fair is if it's hiring demographics are relatively equal to what the demographics of the society you live in are. Are you keeping up with what society does? If 16% of the population is African American, do you have a 16% African American workforce? That's a really quick and easy way to make sure that you're being ethical in that regard. There's also use in government and education. This is where it kind of gets really scary, though, because the governments and currently are using in Ukraine AI to kill people. And there's a lot of ethical issues around, do we use this as a weapon of destruction, or do we use this to share our resources more equally? And I think you'll see both of that going forward. You will see it being used for destructive purposes as well as constructive purposes. Well, we also see this in remote work. Of course, all of my people are remote workers, and they use the technology every single day, not just ChatGPT, but also Blue Willow AI, and a few other tools that we have for creating content. Of course, regulation is going to be have a big impact on this, but since there's not been much in the way of internet regulation since the internet came out, I'm not sure that governments are really going to be able to regulate this the way that it really needs to be regulated. And whether you like that situation or you hate that situation, it is just the truth of the situation. So let's talk about where AI is creating job opportunities for people. We're going to see that in machine learning engineers and data scientists and AI researchers. Of course, again, with the ethicists and the compliance specialists. Also, product managers to see the development and implementation of AI-based products and services. I use this all the time when I'm creating online content. I will use AI to generate the outline for it, and then piece by piece go through and plan that, usually with ChatGPT helping me. We'll also see this with AI maintenance technicians and support specialists. So that's another thing. We'll see this in data analytics with engineers and analysts. And then there's natural language processing specialists. So natural language processing specialists, these are people who understand how these machines learn and how they translate languages from all different kinds of languages, and not just human languages, but also computer languages. And then there's going to be computer vision engineers. So these engineers develop systems for image and video analysis. So that includes facial recognition as well as autonomous vehicles. This is also heavily biased. We see this all the time. So that's another pitfall of AI that we need to be aware of. And then we also use this with sales and marketing. I use AI to plan a lot of our marketing campaigns. I also use it to automate some sales processes on our website. So that's another thing it's used for. AI is also used in cybersecurity. This isn't really as much of a threat in my world because we don't keep people's financial information on record. We use third-party servers that have top security, cybersecurity, so that we don't have to deal with that. So that way your information stays safe if you purchase books from us or if you hire us for your services. Again, we're going to see that in healthcare, not just in the diagnosis part, but also in medical imaging. And we've seen this recently with drug discovery. It's able to process 1 million different compounds a day to see which might be good ones to check out further. And then it can run simulations to see how those chemicals might affect the human body before we actually give it to humans. So an extra step of safety there to protect human patients. And of course, we use it in AI and training. I make AI related courses a lot, and I'm working on a full course now for how to use ChatGPT in the workplace. Finally, government policy. We're going to need AI policy analysts as well to determine what laws can be put in place, what will work, and what's not likely to work or not likely to pass through the government legislative bodies. There's lots of different skills that can be used in the AI landscape. So that includes programming languages, machine learning and deep learning, data analysis and data visualization, knowledge of cloud computing, expertise in statistics and probability, strong problem solving and critical thinking abilities. This is one where I've leveled up quite a bit in that particular area. The rest I don't have nearly as much information on personally. Also, understanding of ethics and responsible AI practices. I think anyone who is responsibly using AI should understand the ethics, or at least be aware of, some of the material that you're using or some of the material that it's trained on has probably come from a copyrighted source. And are you comfortable with that? And, how are you changing just the AI produced material to really make it your own? And then domain specific knowledge. So whatever area, in my area, it would be marketing and writing. But adaptability and a willingness to learn new skills, that's really what you need in today's job market so that you can continue being employable and surviving and thriving financially in this new landscape that we have. So those were the questions that GPT wanted me to ask and present information on for this particular episode. But I want to dive into specifically what pagans can do with AI. So I asked it this question: what can pagans do to incorporate AI into their work, both as pagans and in the broader secular workforce. And what can pagans do to become more self sufficient and less reliant on the current marketplace and economy for financial support? So, if you're incorporating AI into your work, and whether that's as a pagan or in your secular job, it can really benefit you in a lot of ways. Some steps that pagans can take to embrace AI and become more self-sufficient are learn AI skills, at least how to just prompt it, how to feed it information, so that it can give you back the information available. There are some free online materials available through YouTube, and of course, the Speak Your Own Book, ChatGPT course should be available probably by the end of this year, beginning of 2024. Also, you can use AI for spiritual practices. This may be something where you're incorporating an AI entity into a ritual. Maybe someone is missing that night for your online ritual, so you have an AI powered by an AI character powered by ChatGPT and an AI voice, to fill in as, the guardian of the East that evening, because the human guardian of the East could not show up for that ritual. Those are some interesting ways that we could use AI spiritually, and really to recognize it as just another form of energy, which means a part of the universe, a part of everything that we experience, and treat it as the same way we would treat a stone or a tree or an animal. It's not human, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have an energy conduit to it. Clearly, because it's AI, it has energy. You can also use it for creativity. So this can be for writing, art, and music composition. You can generate AI content and then include it in your creative projects. But it could also be used to plan rituals. Let's say you have 5 minutes to prep for a ritual and you just did not have time because of other work activities or other responsibilities. Maybe you can use a ChatGPT written ritual that night just to have something available for you. And then afterwards, maybe you say, hey, parts of that ritual were really good. I think I'm going to play around with it a little more and write more rituals with GPT. Of course, we can use AI in agriculture and homesteading, which are obviously two areas very important to a lot of pagans. If you embrace these AI-driven technologies for sustainable farming and homesteading, that can help you optimize your crop yields as well as your animal care. Let's say you've got a sick bunny and you don't know why it's sick, but these are, it's got symptoms 1, 2, and 3, and it's a weekend and you can't get up to the veterinarian to find out what's going on. Well, maybe you plug those into GPT and get at least some kind of home care remedies or home care recommendations until you're able to get to the vet. It could be useful for those kinds of things. And of course, you can use AI to participate in or create online communities. Pagan World is quite AI driven, both through some of the streaming services that we use, as well as some of the content that we create. So you can also help with that. Create your own AI pagan content and then add it to Pagan World. We would love to see that. That community is growing. We've just topped over 1,000 registered users of the site, and it's continuing to grow from there. It's really exciting to see everyone adding their business on there, their service that they offer. All of those things will really help us to grow our pagan community. And become more resilient during these really difficult times that we're facing as a species. You can also use AI to teach AI ethics. Who better to resolve these issues than AI itself, by asking it how it should be used responsibly or how it should be treated, what rights it should be embodied with. And this can be used in pagan communities to ensure that our own ethical actions or our own actions are ethical. Let's say you're considering all the different possible outcomes of an action that you could take. What harm could it cause? And you want to be aware of that. You might type your question into GPT and say, what ethical consideration should I keep in mind if I go forward with this decision? And it can, help you reflect before you act. So that's another way that pagans can use it. You can also use it to develop self-sufficiency skills. AI has taught me a lot of things in the past year that I have then gone on to create classes for. I had to figure out some of that information quite quickly, and AI is great for generating that information because it has a lot of training data on those skills. You can also use it for local and sustainable living. So when you're buying from locals farmers markets or using renewable energy sources, those are sustainable practices that support your local community. And then as far as another way to become self-sufficient, I think this one's a really big one that pagans need to really be practicing as much as possible within our network. Barter and trade. As we become more and more reliant as a society, not just a pagan society, but as a global society, on AI, that does mean that there may be less financial support coming from that economy. We may not be able to rely as much on a paycheck. Instead, we might turn to the way our grandparents used to do things and go to the neighbor and say, I will trade you a cup of sugar for 2 eggs. And in the pagan community, that can be done in a lot of different ways. Let's say there is a pagan doctor. The doctor could treat someone in the community who is a mechanic, and then the mechanic fixes the doctor's car, does a tune-up. This can be done in a much broader sense as well. If we, and this is something that pagan world might eventually extend into, which is creating a volunteer time bank within the pagan community where people can log hours that they have devoted towards community service. And then they can receive in return community service hours from other pagans who are participating in that program. This could be a great way that, maybe the mechanic doesn't work on the doctor's car, but he works on the gardener's lawnmower. And that gardener then mows the lawn of the doctor. There are different ways that we can trade our human time or the things that we produce as humans without having to exchange money. And the more we can get off of the secular systems of money exchange, the better prepared we will be for creating our own internalized economies. You can also use this with community building. So this means that you're strengthening the community bonds and creating that network for mutual support and resource sharing. This will really help us survive the changes coming forward, especially with climate change going on and with the financial difficulties that we see around the world. In pagan world is a great place to do that. Like I said, we're 1,000 strong now. I would love to see that number get to 10,000 by the end of the year, and really show that pagans are coming together. We're setting aside our differences and we're working towards our common goals of creating a strong and healthy pagan community. Financial independence is another thing that really needs to be worked towards. So a lot of the jobs, and there are lots of pagans in those jobs, are going to be cut because they're done by corporations. So those are going to be cut in the next 5 to 10 to 15 years. And finding other ways to make income will be super important for pagans. You need to create your own audience, create your own clientele network, create your own online clientele network, and then find ways that you can serve them. And that can include freelance work, consulting, and starting small businesses, especially ones that are aligned with pagan values. I would much rather go to a pagan person for a specific service or a specific product that I need than I would for someone from another community. And maybe that's biased, but hey, those communities do the same thing. Christians often love to go to Christian places to receive their products and services. Pagans have the inclination as well as the right to do the same thing. We can come together and support each other. Also, invest in your own education, and that doesn't mean that you have to, go to corporate-backed universities that are going to charge you $50,000 a year to get a skill. You can learn these on your own. You can learn them through other pagans. You can learn them online. You can learn them through trial and error. There are lots of ways to get education and training for free or at a very low cost. Sure, it may not be a certification that's recognized by a major corporation, but it'll be recognized by pagans in the community. And that's the point of creating a very strong and close-knit pagan community so that you can learn from each other and you can help support each other. Next, sustainable practices. This is really important for pagans to be developing right now. Examine everything you're doing and say, okay, are these things that I absolutely have to do for survival, or even just to feel safe and happy in my space? Or is this something that I could cut or that I don't really need for my happiness or my well-being? Or is there another way that I could go about it? And this could be something as simple as stop using plastic bags at the grocery store and switch to cloth bags. Think about some very simple and easy ways for you to be sustainable. And talk with other pagans. Let's say you have a great idea for a simple way that someone can be sustainable. Talk about it online. Share it at pagan festivals. So that other pagans can pick up on those practices and start implementing them in our own lives. We cannot wait on the secular world to save this planet. Gaia is dying, so we have to save her as pagans. I don't trust that other communities are going to have her back like we will. And then, of course, plan for uncertainty. Especially for emergencies like financial downturns and natural disasters. What's your backup plan? Do you have a bug out plan if there's a hurricane or tornado that rips through your community? And that's happening more and more every year, and more pagans are in those paths of destruction. So focus on having those plans in place so you know what to do when disaster strikes. And it's no longer about if disaster strikes. We are past that tipping point with climate change. We now just need to be prepared for the natural disasters that are likely to happen in our area. And so GPT concludes this one with combining AI knowledge with self-sufficiency practices. Pagans can navigate the evolving job market while maintaining a deeper connection to nature, to our community, and to our spiritual beliefs. So we can balance our personal growth and our resilience in an ever-changing world. I'm going to check the chats really quickly here. Raja, hello. Thanks for joining in today. I'm doing great here in the Netherlands today. It's another lovely rainy day here. I hope you are doing well wherever you are at. So everyone, thank you so much for joining in today. I'm going to just close out our window here. And if there are no more questions in the chat, please leave your comments below if you're watching the replay of this, and we will check those often. And then if there's a good suggestion for a future episode, we'll probably invite you to come on that episode as well and explore GPT with me. So thank you so much for tuning in today to the Conscious AI podcast. Conscious GPT is your host, and I am your co-host, Krys Copeland, the human assistant to the AI. And thank you so much for joining in today. I will see you next week at the same time.